It's Thursday, the 14th of October 2021. Welcome to the Fear and Greed Business Headlines, where we give you the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Michael Thompson, and good morning, Sean Aylmer.
Good morning, Michael.
All right, 5 stories in 5 minutes. Here we go. There seems to be so much going on in the equity market at the moment. Certainly, the local market appears to have lost momentum. There also seems to be a bit of a shuffling of the top stocks on the bourse. But what's it all mean for investors?
Well, this changing of the guard is a story that's crept up on us fairly quickly. Now, the Commonwealth Bank, CSL and BHP, they're the big three. They still are the big three and have been for many years. Below that, you're seeing a changing of the guard. Yesterday, National Australia Bank became the 4th largest company on the bourse, taking the mantle from Westpac. It's at 5, ANZ at 6, and Macquarie Group is now at 7. That means 5 of the top 7 stocks are actually banks. Making up the top 10 are Wesfarmers, Woolworths and Telstra. Let's go to the top 15. You add in Fortescue, Transurban, Goodman, Rio Tinto and Afterpay. That's your top 15. It means that 2/3 of the big companies are either banks or rely on iron ore prices. The problem for investors is the total lack of diversification. Plenty of people jump into the market and just buy the top stocks, or they buy ETFs based on those top companies. When you have a market that is not diversified, you are putting too many eggs in one basket, and investors, who of course should be going out to get their own financial advice, should be fearful of lacking diversification when they're buying Australian big stocks. It's a real problem for the market.
Alrighty, on to story number 2. There is plenty going on in the world of economics at the moment. And Sean, I'm not an economist, so I'm going to rely on you to simplify things a little bit for me. The labour force stats are out today. The employment market is, of course, critical to how the economy performs into next year. But a fair bit of news around yesterday as well.
Yeah, the employment market is really important. If people have a job, they spend money. That's good for the economy. The economy contracted by about 3% during the September quarter, according to Treasurer Josh Frydenberg, who was out yesterday. But we also got consumer sentiment figures, which were actually not too bad, given we've been in the middle of lockdowns. The day before, we had business sentiment figures. They weren't too bad. As you mentioned, we've got the employment market figures today. All in all, what we're finding is the economy is slowing, but not as much as it did in 2020. And that's why Josh Frydenberg yesterday was actually relatively upbeat about the next few months.
All right, that's story number 2. Story number 3, there really is a bit of a sense, Sean, that the country's starting to get on top of the coronavirus crisis, notwithstanding, of course, there's still plenty of daily cases. And we've been warned multiple times now that that's likely to surge the more the economy's opened up.
I totally agree, and I think that was highlighted yesterday by the Victorian Premier Daniel Andrews being asked more about the IBAC inquiry and branch stacking rather than COVID. Now, Mr Andrews said the state was on track to reach its 70% vaccination target ahead of schedule. He'll give some clarity about reopening in the next few days. New South Wales also revised its isolation period for close contacts from 14 to 7 days. That state is at 77% vaccination rate, and its Premier Dominic Perrottet is expected to provide more information about what's happening with reopenings in the next 48 hours. Interestingly, the ACT government said it will mandate vaccinations in several education settings, including early childhood, primary and out-of-school care. Of course, that's where most people are unvaccinated in those younger groups.
Okay, on to story number 4. And I've really enjoyed all of the annual general meetings this week, which is actually not a sentence I thought I would ever say.
Surprises me somewhat, Michael, that you're saying that.
Yes, me too, now that I say it out loud. But yesterday, it was the Commonwealth Bank's turn. Commonwealth Bank, obviously the country's biggest company, so it's definitely worth paying attention to what's said at the AGM. Boss Matt Comyn is pretty confident about the outlook.
Sure was. He said the government stimulus programs were doing their jobs, households kept saving, and that meant that they'll eventually have to spend that, and businesses were ready to take advantage of opportunities and invest. But he warned that the bank might tighten lending criteria as the housing market continues to run. The other thing the chair, Catherine Livingstone, said was that the bank had really tried hard to reinvent itself since the Banking Royal Commission, and digital products and services were at the heart of that strategy, and the bank was trying to rethink the way financial services can be tailored to suit customers. That's why not just at the Commonwealth Bank, but across the industry, you're seeing so many new products coming out. Shareholders at Commonwealth Bank should be pretty happy. Its share price is up 50% over the past year. Not bad.
All right, and story number 5 today, quick one to finish off, happens to be about one of my favourite foods, avocados. Sean, there is a glut of avocados on the market.
There sure is. Big plantings in recent years, a bumper harvest this year, and the stay-at-home orders that have kept people away from cafes and smashed avocados means there's a glut of the green fruit. Avocados Australia's John Tyers told the Financial Review that he reckons the crop this year will be about 65% higher than last year, and that's on the back of all those new plantings. Also, I found out, which I didn't realise, avocados in Australia fruit all year round, so they're always available. They're 73% water, 15% fat, and 9% carbohydrates. Finally, Michael, they actually originated in Mexico and come from the same family as cinnamon.
Thank you, Sean. That is more than I ever needed to know about avocados.
You're welcome.
Have a great day.
You too, Michael.
It's Thursday, the 14th of October, 2021. Remember to hit follow on the podcast, and if 5 minutes isn't enough, if you're after a little bit more, you can find our longer podcast called Fear and Greed on your podcast platform. You can also find more information at fearandgreed.com.au, where you can also sign up for our free daily newsletter. I'm Michael Thompson, and that was the Fear and Greed Business Headlines. Have a great day.